This segment of DelmarvaLife is brought to you by Ocean City Department of Tourism.
If you have stopped into Ocean City and never stopped into this building, boy, are you missing out. Built in 1891, this is the Ocean City LifeSaving Station. It's always been a part of the OC Boardwalk, but it wasn't always a museum. It was first used as a hub for a crew of 7 local lifesavers whose job it was to row out to sea for rescues. Then around 1915, the Life-Saving Service became the U.S. Coast Guard. This beautiful building became obsolete. But because it always meant so much to the community, the people of Ocean City wouldn't let it be demolished. So here she stands today, preserving history as the town's life-saving museum.
And part of that history being preserved is this exhibit, Sands from Around the World. What started out as a project for an intern years ago has turned into a real conversation piece. The exhibit allows visitors to compare sand from places like Iceland, Russia, Australia, and many other exotic locations. Collecting all this sand has been a real team effort, with museum staff and visitors bringing it back with them from their own personal travels. But no matter how far the sand has traveled, museum curator Sandy Hurley says everyone's favorite seems to be from close to home.
The best sand, I think it's the location that's more important. I mean, I've traveled the world, all kinds of beaches, and seen a lot of sand, and Ocean City sand ranks right up there.
You can check out that exhibit at the Life-Saving Station Museum during the month of May between 10 and 4.
Something else you want to make sure you stop by and check out is the inspirational sand sculptures. DelmarvaLife Sean Stryker has more on that.
Well, Jimmy and Lisa, the sand here in Ocean City certainly has a very distinct texture, and one local man has been using this sand to create works of art for the past 34 years. As children, a trip to the beach usually meant digging holes and building sand castles. But somewhere between childhood and adulthood, the allure of playing in the sand can get lost. But that's not the case for Randy Hofman. Randy has been creating these works of art along the Ocean City Boardwalk since 1981.
Back in the 70s, I came to Ocean City as a young man as an oil painter. And I met another man who was doing these sand sculptures. I wasn't the original sand sculptor. And I helped him in the 70s. Then by 81, he went to Florida, and that's when I replaced him and continued it since then.
Most of Randy's sculptures are scenes from the Bible. But he says you don't have to be religious to appreciate what he's doing.
It's classical sculpture, you know, figurative anatomy. I try to do a good job. And I put a long attention span in it, so it has kind of a kinetic energy. And you look at it and you go, wow, look at all that work. It's a presentation, I get it. You know, some people doing something.
Obviously, none of this would be possible without the sand.
Well, you can't sculpt with dry sand. So you dig past the dry sand to the wet sand, the moist sand underneath, and you stack it up. And Ocean City has such pure sand, it doesn't want to stack too steep. I go to other places like Texas and they have like silt in it and it's like clay in it, and you can really stack it up high, but this is the kind of sand you want to lay in and lounge in. It's so pure, but for sand sculpting it's a little more difficult.
Using his hands, forearms, and various tools, Randy transforms the mound of sand into a lifelike sculpture. Believe it or not, Randy says one of his favorite tools came from a local crab house.
If you buy crabs, they issue you this knife to eat the meat out of it, but it's such a great little plastic knife, I've been using it for decades.
Whatever tool he is using, Randy says it's important to work from top to bottom.
If there's any sculpting to do like doctor work, there's like 3 times as much nurse work of cleaning up all the debris that's falling all the time.
After the details are in place, Randy sprays the sculpture with a mixture of Elmer's glue and water.
We spray a little film on top and it puts a crust on it. And that keeps it from the wind blowing it.
Randy says that crust can help keep his creation in place anywhere from a few weeks to a month. But no matter how much glue is used, the artwork will eventually blow away. Something Randy doesn't seem to mind.
It's very philosophical because it's temporary like us. And now as I'm getting older, I can see, you know, we just, like the sand sculptures, we come and go. So book your reservations now.
But before the sculpture disappears, Randy says he hopes it can act as a conversation starter between parents and their kids.
I think it's when I see a family come by and the little kid bugs the parent, says, "Dad, what's that mean?" And so then the parent talks about it. And they might be too self-conscious or something. Today everything's so politically correct, but to talk about God. And I think that's a needed thing in our lives.
Now, one thing that I thought was really cool was how many people stopped to watch Randy work. Jimmy and Lisa, there was actually people walking by screaming out how much they love his sculptures.
I love to see those sand sculptures.
Absolutely gorgeous.
And you know what else I love, Jimmy? All the fun activities they have planned in Ocean City all summer long.
I am so glad you mentioned that, because with us right now is Donna Abbott, who's the tourism director here at Ocean City. Donna, this is absolutely incredible. Ocean City really turns from a town into a city during the summer, doesn't it?
That's right. Actually, we're probably the second largest city in the state of Maryland during the summertime. But you know what? We're a fun city to be in, Jimmy.
So what are some of the fun activities you have planned for the summer of 2015?
Oh my gosh, we have so many things lined up. I mean, after Springfest, we roll right into a lot of our free events that will be happening, kicking off the Memorial Day weekend. In the middle of June, we had the OC Air Show. This year, we've got the Blue Angels for the first time. We're excited about that. And then from there, we have fireworks, laser shows, concerts, and movies on the beach, and all of those activities are free.
This is absolutely incredible. White Marlin Open, the Cruise Inn, OC Beach Lights. There's the Ravens Beach Bash. It's absolutely incredible, the stuff that you guys have got going on. So you have all this going on during the summer. You open it with Springfest and you wrap it up with Sunfest.
That's right. You know, from Springfest to Sunfest, there's a lot of fun to be had in Ocean City, and we're really excited. The beach is looking great. The boardwalk looks fantastic. So we're ready to have a great summer of 15.
All right. Thank you so much, Donna. Can't wait for it to get here. And of course, if you would like a full list of everything that's going on, all you need to do is go to our website, WBOC.com, click on our picture at the top of the page.
You know, we've been working pretty hard out here. I think
Yeah.
I've worked up an appetite.
You? I can't imagine that, Jimmy.
Why don't we mosey on over here and get some traditional OC favorites?
Hey, Sean, what are you doing over here?
Well, you guys kept me hungry the last time we were here, remember?
There was something you got to remember to do whenever you come to Ocean City. Come on an empty stomach.
Yeah, from the chewy, gooey, world-famous saltwater taffy from Dolly's.
Yeah, to the piping hot fresh fries from Thrasher's. These are awesome.
What is the vinegar?
I got right here. Oh, and the boardwalk pizza. The messier, the better.
Oh, and that's just a tease for your taste buds.
It's great.
Well, I wasn't gonna let that happen again. And this time, I'll even share.
Ooh, thank you.
Up next, you get to see firsthand how this delicious beach treat is made. DelmarvaLife Springfest will be right back.